There's a new me coming out, and I just have to live, and I wanna give. I'm completely positive. I think this time around I am gonna do it like you never knew it. Oh, I'll make it through. The time has come for me to break out of the shell. I have to shout that I am coming out.
Hi there. Welcome to the show Never Too Late Ever, where we focus on making the next chapter of your life the very best chapter ever. I am your host, Lorraine Hoving, and I am so glad you are joining us today. This day will change your life. Open your heart, your ears, and listen. You will find a gem, a treasure that you can apply to your life today. And today I am so excited to have Katia back. Hi, Katia. How are you today?
I am good. Thank you so much for having me back this week.
And I love having her because I love her accent. And it is a wonderful thing that my dad was born in Normandy. I've been up to Brittany, just like where you came from. A beautiful, beautiful area. So let me tell you, it's incredible. Let me tell you a little bit about Katia. She is a business coach that speaks 3 languages, except that I told her she speaks 4: French, English, and money, and laughter. She helps service-based businesses grow to 6 figures while living the life they love. She helps them to create a money plan with public speaking. So today we're going to get a little bit into public speaking, and that is my thing. I love to speak publicly. And so since we have been all virtual, that's been a little bit harder for me because I am the type of person, like right now I can't see your eyeballs, Katia, and I love seeing people. And so we're going to talk today about speaking a little bit. And she's entitled this show called It Is Not About You. And we touched a little bit about that last week. So tell us a little bit more about It Is Not About You.
So when we say it's not about you, Lauren, it's really on the premises of when people talk or they make it about, like, for example, us, right? Today I could just come on your show and just talk about me, and all the great things that I do, and I could totally ignore your audience, right? I could make it about me, and since I'm a business coach, I'm going to make it all about business, kind of ignoring who is your audience, right? I know the age range of your audience. I know that it's about, it's never too late, and so I want to make it relevant for them. And that's kind of what I mean by that. It's not about you. We have to remember then sometimes it's not just about speaking. It's really about how do we use speaking to really connect to the audience? How do we use speaking to connect? And it's not just about me being on the stage. Does that make sense?
Right. That does make sense. So are you a speaking coach, Katia?
So I am not a speaking coach. I am a business coach who use speaking as a tool to generate leads and clients, which is different. So a speaking coach, for example, you would hire them and they would say, oh, you know what, Lauren, we're just going to speak about, so your podcast is about Never Too Late. We're going to make a speech about that. And they're going to give you a beautiful speech, and then you will have to learn it by heart, right? So you're going to stress about maybe, not remembering your lines or you're going to make it about you. For me, as a business coach, when we use speaking, we make a speech, basically a signature talk, that's really going to help to convert an audience. It's going to help them. We're going to help to connect with them. That's why at the end of the speech, they maybe want to, they have questions to me. They want to connect with me. They want to get on, start to follow me on social media. And because it's not about me, I really don't care if I forget my word, right? It's really kind of like more like you and I speaking together.
Right.
And again, you have to get back and, put yourself in front of the right audience, find out what they want from you. And then it doesn't really matter. For me, I know I'm very clear about my fundamental, which is what we talked about last week, right? The fundamentals is I know what you need. So because I know that, it really doesn't matter if I forget my words or not. It's just about I know who I serve, I know what pain point I fix, and I know the audience needs, so I'll make sure then I give them something. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you've said there's 3 most common mistakes that people make on stages, and I'd love to know because I'm on stages. So what are the 3 most common mistakes people make?
Wow. So number 1, they make it about them.
That's true. I've been there. I've been in those I've been in the audience when they've made it about them. So the first mistake is making it all about yourself. What's the second mistake people make on stage?
The second mistake is they don't pay attention to what they wear, either as dress, as clothes, or as accessories. A lot of times, the clothing takes away from the speech, or the earrings are making noise into the microphone. Little things like that make people focus on like crazy earrings or crazy things, or like a dress is too tight, and therefore they don't listen to your message anymore. They just pay attention to you.
Right. Because one of the first impressions, you kind of get transfigured on that if it's like gaudy earrings or whatever, and you can't quite get past that. I get that.
Right.
Or like you said, if something's too tight, or that's good to remember. And then number 3.
The number 3 is actually the biggest one. Is have a call to action. Of all the speech that I remember, even some gorgeous, beautiful talk, at the end, there's need to have a call to action. What do you want the audience to do? Is it to connect with you on social media? Is it to get on the phone with you? Is it to get a freebie? Is it to, to talk with you at the end when you finish? You have to give them an invitation to something. And a lot of times people forget that part. Right.
Because sometimes you've whet I know with me, sometimes it's hard to do the call of action, but you've whet their appetite and they actually would like to go further with you. And somehow if you don't do it, it's like a disappointment to them.
Right.
Because they're almost looking for it. Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
So is it now when you talk to your people that are speaking, do you have them memorize their speech, or because
I don't.
You don't. Okay, tell us about that.
So I don't. I always say there is an anatomy of crafting a speech. And the way I help my clients is we really dig down about what they are about. That way, even if they're another business coach like me, then how can we make them being different than me? That way we can show their gift versus my gift, right? And that's what it is. There's not that many different jobs, out there. So how do we make ourselves different? So we dig down, we really dig deep, and then we found out, like, what are they about? What is their point of view on life? And after that, we built the talk. And we built usually only 2 or 3 parts, meaning like there's only 2 or 3 teaching points. So what are the main things then people want the audience to live with? And then, Lauren, it's so easy because you know those 3 points. So whether, you go point 1, 2, 3 or point 3, 2, 1, the audience doesn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're not stressed. You know those 3 points. You know that those are the one you're going to bring. You know the story because we already brought in a true story than you went through, than you have, who relate to point 1, point 2, and point 3. So then you don't have to memorize it and you don't have to remember. And when you put a speech like that, there's so much authenticity. because
Right.
you really connect with the audience. You look at them. You're not looking up in the sky, looking for, like, if your words were going to come back from the skies if you forget that. Does that make sense?
You know what my belief is? My belief as I've gone further in my speaking is that everybody has a story. Not everybody's gifted to be a speaker, but everybody has a story, which is fascinating to me because, we've all come from different circumstances, and those stories can transform the world. And for anybody that's out there that thinks that they have a hunger, that they've got a message that they want to get to the world, remember it isn't ever too late to get that message out to the world, because it can be transforming. And I tell you, there is nothing better for me. I love my radio show and I love being on it, but when I'm in front of a live audience, the electricity, it almost gives me goosebumps. So I do think that everybody has a story. Do you believe that everybody has a story, Katia?
Oh yes, big time. And this is why it's easy, because you have your own story and you have the right to put it out there, and you have a story to tell. You have something who's going to inspire someone else. So why not putting it into a talk and then, come up with it and in some way leave a legacy with that as well.
Right. Beautiful. So, you have a story in that you overcome, part of your story is when you overcame and began a business at, went to college, and you felt like you had failed and you overcame. Those are the kind of stories that are beautiful, because even in my story of losing my weight, there's people out there that think that they can't do it, and when they see somebody else that can do it, and that's where the call to action comes.
That's right.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what kind of legacy, when we talk about legacy, what kind of legacy would you want to leave for your family and for your friends?
For me, it's really like, I'm in the business. I have 3 children, and I know that I want the business to grow enough that way they can be a part of the business. I mean, they all have amazing gifts, and for me, the legacy would be to have them work in the business, and therefore at the end, letting them run the business.
That's beautiful. Now, do you have grandchildren?
Not yet. The oldest is 23, so he's going to give it a little bit more time.
Oh, 23, and what are the other two?
The other two is 18 and 15, so I definitely don't want grandchildren from the 18 and that's right. Too young.
Yeah. So you still have 2 at home.
I have 1 at home now.
Okay.
The 18-year-old is definitely not home anymore. But yeah, I have 1 girl at home.
Okay. And is she following in your footsteps? Do you think she would like to get involved in your business?
She's 15. The 15-year-old, the one who's left at home, is probably not yet. All she thinks about right now is, boys and music and starting high school, and how cool she is because she's like the coolest freshman on there. So I don't think entrepreneurship is even it's really even passing in her mind.
That's right. So the legacy you have to leave, you have to work a few more years to leave that legacy. That's right. So is there anything else that you want to say about speaking in closing, encouraging people? And then I would like you to go in and tell us a little bit about how people can reach you and about your free gift. I'm excited for the audience.
Sure. So I actually saw speaking, and I want to say she is 88 years old. She Frances, and I can't remember her last name. Her and her husband made the show